Hello everyone, Rico Rix once again, and welcome back to another episode of our MATHFLEX. So, few days back, one of our subscribers again sent us a series of problems, and I came across with this one, and I found it very interesting to share the solution here in our channel. So let's see on how we arrive with an answer with this particular problem. So it says if x1 and x2 are the roots of quadratic equation, we have the general quadratic equation here, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. Then x1 plus x2 is, okay, so we have the choices here. So what does this mean? So before we solve this problem, I'll give you first an example on what does this problem mean. So for example, I have here x squared plus 7x plus 10, okay, is equal to 0, okay? So we have this quadratic equation, and we have the roots of this equation, which are, so if I'll try to factor this one, which is x plus 5, and then x plus 2 is equal to 0. So therefore, x plus 5 is equal to 0. So our first root then is equal to negative 5. And then the second one is x plus 2 is equal to 0. So the second root will be x2 is equal to negative 2. So therefore, the first root plus the second root is equal now to negative 5 plus, okay, negative 2, which is equal to negative 7. So I just presented this one first to see on how to solve or on how we can arrive with an answer on this particular problem. So another way to get the roots of this particular quadratic equation is using our quadratic formula, which is, okay, we have x is equal to negative b plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, okay? Where in the first root here, we have two roots. The first root is x sub 1 is equal to negative b plus, okay, since this is plus and minus, the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then the second root will be equal to negative b plus, this time the negative value, which is negative minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So these are the two roots of any given standard, of any given quadratic equation. So we can get the roots by this quadratic equation. So the first root is negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, and the other roots will be negative b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So how do we get an answer for this particular problem? So let's see. So in this case, let's just try to add x1 and x2 using this formula. So how we can have that one? So if I may erase this first. Okay. So x1 plus x2, so that means x1 plus x2 will be equal now to the first root, which is negative b plus plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, okay, plus again, okay, negative b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So I think we can add them since they have the same denominator. So that means we have 2a here. So negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac plus another negative b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So if you would notice here that this plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac and another minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, these two will cancel, and you have your negative b plus negative b. So that means you have negative 2b, okay, over 2a. So what's left here is negative 2b over 2a. So 2 cancel here, will cancel. So the answer is negative b over a. So the sum of the two roots of quadratic equation, which is equal to negative b over 2a. So this will be, negative b over a. So this will be the answer on this particular problem. Okay? So let's try to prove that one using our equation or our example a while ago. So that means x squared plus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. So our a value here is 1, and b is 7, and c is equal to 10. So using this formula, the sum of the roots of the quadratic equation, so x1 plus x2, which is equal to negative b over a. So over b is 7, negative 7, okay, since negative b over 7, negative b over a, and our value is a, so that means this is negative 7. The sum of the roots of x squared plus 7x plus 10 is negative 7. Okay? For example here, we have 2x minus 7x, 2x squared minus 7x plus 3 is equal to 0. So if we are asked to find the sum of the roots of this quadratic equation, so by applying our formula, x1 plus x2, which is, as we arrived a while ago, which is negative b over a. So this will be equal now to, so on this one, we have a which is equal to 2, b is equal to negative 7, and our constant is 3, 3, okay? So therefore, we have to substitute the value, so negative minus, okay, so just be extra careful here, so that is negative, and the b value is negative 7 over a, which is equal to 2. So therefore, the sum of the roots of this quadratic equation is equal to 7 over 2. So negative times negative is positive. So this will be our answer here. Okay? So another questions that can be formulated with this type of problem, or with this type of problem is the instructor or the teacher can ask also what will be the product of the roots of the quadratic equation. So the problem is asking you, what is asked here is the sum. What if we are asked what will be the product? So how we can do that? So let's see if we will try to solve the product of the roots of the quadratic equation. So product, that means we have to multiply your first root multiplied by your second root. So same approach. So the first root is what? Negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. This will be multiplied by your second root, which is negative b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay? So as you will observe here that this actually sum and difference of two terms. If you will remember, if you have a plus b and then a minus b, okay, this will be equal now to a squared minus b squared. Okay, so since these are similar, so the difference only is the sign between your negative b and the square root of b squared minus 4ac. So this is a perfect example of sum and difference of two squares. So we can have this, we can apply that formula. So that means this is negative b squared minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac squared over the square of your denominator, which is 4a squared. So therefore, we'll have here what? B squared, since negative b times negative b is b squared, minus, so the square sign here plus your square there will cancel. So b squared minus 4, okay? b squared minus 4ac, okay? Over 4a squared, sorry. 4a squared. So this time we'll have like, this will cancel, negative there, and then the negative there will be positive. So that means 4ac over 4a squared. So the 4 here will cancel. One a there and another a there is cancelled. That means you have c over a. So in other words, the product, okay, of the roots of quadratic equation is equal to c over a. So this is the answer here. Okay. So let's try to have an example to prove this formula. So if I may erase also this one. Okay. So let's see, if we have x squared minus 8x plus 15 is equal to 0. So okay, using, let's try to factor this one first. So that means x minus 3 and x minus 5 is equal to 0. So the two roots are x is equal to 3 and then x is equal to 5. So that means if you will multiply x1 times x2 will be equal to 3 times 5, which is equal to 15. So if you'll try to apply this formula, so you'll get c over a, which is equal to, our c here is 15, and our a value, the coefficient of your x squared is 1, so that means 15 over 1, so we get the same answer. So which is also 15. Okay? So I guess that's it for now, and thank you very much for sharing us this problem to our subscriber. So again, don't forget to watch, like, and hit the notification bell for you to get updated on our succeeding videos. Until next time, guys, bye-bye!